if this game goes like the other ones have, then really that bottom half of the lineup is going to be really important, right? You got to make sure that you're getting hits anytime you can take them and just get guys on base, because this matchup could very well be another battle. It could be another low-scoring battle of a game.
Yeah, and you look at the teams coming in as a team. The Riverhawks hitting 320 collectively. 320, and you look at Dixie, a little bit higher clip, 339 as a team. So those are the numbers on the team batting average coming into tonight's game. Should be fun in the nightcap. Can't wait to see how it goes. And like I mentioned, Region 10, 1-2 so far today. Region 11, they got the 2-1 record today. That was a fun thing when you saw these Monday matchups in the 4A state tournament. They're all crossover games. So we'll see. And so far tomorrow, all the games are crossover games as well so far.
Sure. Well, let's take a minute break before we get into the action here from BYU. 1 minute. We'll be back right after this.
Adams Wealth Advisory is a financial planning firm that is combined with an investment firm to provide the best possible outcomes for our clients.
I always believe if you're intentional with your financial plan, things are going to work out really well for you.
Visit AdamsWealthAdvisors.com.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs. Just complete an application on your phone or computer, or stop by any branch.
Welcome back into our Boulevard home. Final game of the night here. Thank you for joining us through the Findlay Subaru pregame show. Devin, let's get to our House of Jump starting lineup, shall we?
Yeah, I mean, we went through the pitching matchup, but both these teams good defensively. I mean, both these teams have some really good, and it starts with the catcher. I mean, Ridge Erickson behind the dish catching Yates tonight. I mean, Ridge is already committed, I think, verbally to BYU. So, he'll be coming up here unless something changes and playing for Coach Pratt here on this field. So that's got to be fun for a guy like Ridge Erickson. So look at Ridge to have maybe a good game on this field tonight, but there's some star power with Boston Vest. His older brother Cooper Vest, also a BYU Cougar. Max Orton at second base. He's been swinging hot about anybody in the region. Logan Levitt, really good production at the bottom of the lineup. So there's some star power on this Dixie Flyer team.
Well, pop fly into center field will start us off. First pitch, first hit. And it'll be the first out as well, as that was Cam Blotter.
Yeah, and he's got speed, so he gets aboard. There's a lot of speed. Hayden Hansen due up. He's got some speed, too. Jensen, Dolly, Cooper Clark. This is a really good lineup. And so, you look at the matchup and you go, this is going to be good. Justin Jensen likes his chances. I mean, Hansen steps in, and then Purser, the pitcher, will bat third. Jensen's in the cleanup spot tonight. Easton Dolly there catching, another great catcher behind the dish, batting fifth. And then you got Clark, Bear, you got Bodie, Heron, and then you got Ian Dolly, the DH, and then Tyson Smith is playing third but not batting to start this game.
Fouled away there, and it's a count of 2-1 here to Hayden Hansen. Second base for Ridgeline. Ridgeline, I love their uniforms. They're going with that secondary color and making it prominent with the bright green uniforms.
Yeah, they got a little Seahawks feel to them, right? The neon action green jerseys the Seahawks have, they got that same look. Meet the defense behind Yates, who's the pitcher, Erickson at the dish, Logan Levitt's at third, Boston Vest is at short, Max Orton's at second, Cooper Bartholomew's at first, Watson in left, Franco in center, and Zeph is out and right. It's our House of Jump starting lineup defensively for Dixie High, coached by Danny Ibsen.
Yates getting that one up and away. And swung on, miss, tipped away, and it's strikeout.
Yates going to top out 89-90. I mean, he's got good velo. And, coming from that left side, he's got as much velo as about any left-handed pitcher in this state tournament with those numbers.
Brings up Trey Purser.
Doesn't quite throw it as hard as Kason Bell, who we'll probably see start tomorrow for Dixie, who's been topping out about 92.
Yeah, he's got a tough fastball. So that one's up in the zone for ball one. It's 2 outs already here. Now facing the third batter in the lineup, Trey Purser. Purser will be a part of this pitching duel here tonight. That one away for ball 2.
And he also hits it, okay, in .431 batting average this year, 35 RBIs, 3 doubles, 3 triples, and 10 home runs. He is tied for the lead in the state with Sam Lindsay.
Hits that right to Boston Vest at shortstop, and that will round out the inning on a line drive. So quick 3 up, 3 down through the top of the first inning. To the bottom of the first we go here on the Fan Sports Network and KSLSports.com.
Inspired design. Ultra quiet operation. To you, it's a Bryant Evolution cooling system. To us, it's the ultimate machine.
All set.
For the dealer nearest you, visit Bryant.com.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
This cheesesteak is so freshly grilled, you could still hear it sizzling.
I can hear it too.
Me too.
Actually, it's the
cheesesteak
grill.
Grilled right in front of you. It's a Jersey
Showcases in the West. Visit netsonfire.org. Welcome back here to the bottom of the first inning at Larry H. Miller Field as the sun is setting, getting darker out here in Provo, where soon we'll be losing that majestic backdrop that we've talked so much about today. This has got to be one of the top fields, maybe in the country, as far as the view goes.
Yeah, we were talking with Luke Anderson and asking him about, playing in the West Coast Conference and some of the venues, and he said nothing touches the backdrop here at Miller Park, and I don't disagree with that one bit. It is a very scenic backdrop, to say the least. Still got a little bit of snow on the mountains, and obviously everything's blooming, nice and green. Beautiful day today in the 80s.
Yep.
Cooling down, no, that's the thing.
Yeah, right now 70 degrees.
Yep.
And dropping fast.
It'll be a little cooler. You see Purser that does have when he looked like he had a hoodie on under his jersey with a little white popped out. Now he's kind of tucked it in as he finishes his warm-up pitches.
Yeah, and Cam Blotter over there at shortstop. He's rocking the short sleeve hoodie right now as well. Add a little layer of protection. Leading off, Braxton Yates for Dixie will step up to the Buck Brand Beef batter's box. Now, Devin Mark was telling me in the last ball game, you guys are talking about getting, splitting a little bit there and maybe going in on
going
beef.
inside of beef.
Yeah, hey, you know what? It's good beef.
Yeah. Grass-fed, home-raised in Kanab, Utah. Just give them a call or email them if any questions. And
you can email buckbrand@gmail.com. And I thought he might have been hit by a pitch, but Braxton Yates, I think it might have just went through his legs. He kind of lifted the leg up out of the way, and he says, "Nah, you know what? I just want to play some ball here. Throw me another one." Now facing a quick count of 2-0.
It's always interesting to watch, the pitchers. A lot of adrenaline for the pitchers to start a game, and who can control it, harness it, and use it to their advantage, or who's a little bit wild to start.
Line drive out to right field and putting the glove on it for out number 1.
A great track down. That was hit well, had a beat on it, but, we've seen some balls in these bigger parks tracked down. That was Hansen out there and right that had a good line on it and made it look pretty smooth, even though he had to get on his horse and go to track that down in that alleyway there in right center field.
Now Boston Vest will step up to the plate.
I'm excited to catch up with Cooper. Cooper, his older brother here, player at BYU, is going to jump on the broadcast with us for the second inning. Had to coax him into it. Coop's pretty chill. He's like, my whole family's here. I'm like, 1 inning, come say hi. People in St. George would love to catch up with you. And he's like, okay, I'll do it.
A little bit of a misstep, it looked like, from the pitcher there. Kind of slipped a little on that, threw it low and away for ball 1. It's a 1-1 count.
Be interesting to hear from the pitchers, used to pitching off. For a lot of these guys, it's probably the first ever turf pitching mound that they've used. So it's probably a lot different.
Fouled away by Vest. Evens up the count at 2.
Boss raking at .403 this year. 14 doubles, 4 triples. Just 1 home run this year, but he's got home run pop.
Yeah, he hit a home run in the state tournament last year as a walk-off, as he sends this one right up the middle and into center field for a base hit.
I was talking a couple weeks ago with Danny Ibsen about Boston Vest, and he got choked up just talking about him. He said, this is why I coach, because I get to be around kids like Boston Vest. He said he's the hardest working kid he's ever had in his program. And there's Scott Vest, his dad, who's coaching first base and an assistant coach for Danny Ibsen. And, he's got a lot of great coaches. Dave Horlocker's pitching coach. He's got Chunner Nyberg. He's got Logan Levitt's older brother, who played at Dixie State and went to high school at Pineview, Jagan. He's on the staff now. Coach Ibsen has really surrounded himself with some great coaches.
First pitch in for strike 1. This is Max Orton up to bat.
Yeah, .445, leading the team in batting average. The junior just found a way into the lineup this year.
Second pitch is high for ball 1.
Max just a junior. Sister's an up-and-coming talented basketball player.
Check the runner over at first, who's back safely.
So Purser, he gives up an early hit, to Vest up the middle. And that ball was hit really, really well by Yates, too. So Dixie seemingly has a little bit of a bead on Purser. See if he goes to a little bit more off-speed variety of pitches here. Try to keep the Flyers from seeing it too well.
That last swing from Max Orton, a little bit of a hitch in it as he sends this one foul. It stays alive with a 1-2 count.
Yeah, challenging with the fastball. It looks like that's his go-to pitch. He wants to rely on that fastball. That one, good location, up a little bit in the zone, and Orton couldn't get on top of it.
Now Orton facing the 1-2. Runner on first. 1 out here in the bottom of the first. And the pitch, swung on and missed. It's out number 2 on the strikeout to Max Orton.
Yeah, we're keeping track of the S&S Mechanical K-meter in the game today. We'll see. We had 1 double-digit strikeout performance earlier in the day, and that was Bear Rivers' Deegan Rigby, but he ended up getting the loss on the late home run by the Snow Canyon Warriors. That's probably been the play of the day so far in the state tournament.
Absolutely. Anytime you have a walk-off and in that one by Snow Canyon, definitely on the board as our top play of the day. Well, high and outside, ball 1. Now, we've seen 2 home runs today. We had Coleman Bob from Green Canyon send one over as well. As Ryder Harrison from Snow Canyon.
Man, that Coleman Bob home run, that was probably 105 exit velo off the bat, 105 miles an hour, I would guess.
Yeah, and he sent that one a solid 400 feet.
By the way, that last strikeout for Max Orton, that was only his 4th strikeout of the entire season.
Wow.
That's a good guy to strike out if you're Purser, because he doesn't strike out much.
Now, this is Blake Watson up to bat right now, facing the 1-1 pitch. Hits it strong up the middle, short. They make the play over to first. It's there in time for out number 3. So that's 4 up and 3 down with the play over to first. And it still remains scoreless on our Wilkinson's House of Lighting scoreboard. We will head to the top of the first when we come back here on the Fan Sports Network.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
First Ace Hardware is conveniently located in St. George on the corner of Bluff Street and St. George Boulevard with 30,000 square feet of lawn and garden, paint, tools, fabrics, sporting goods, and the most complete nut and bolt section in town. First General Store, the Big Ace store on Bluff and on Main in Cedar City.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News
Across the
today.
freeway from the Bloomington Walmart. And stay tuned for the AWP Playmaker of the Game.
It's the top of the second inning, scoreless from both Ridgeline and Dixie through the first inning. We welcome you into the broadcast here, whether you're listening on the Fan Sports Network or watching on KSLSports.com. We also want to thank you for listening in the Cache Valley area on 107.7.
Yeah, covering it all for you. Glad to be here. And no score through one.
Yeah, stepping up to the plate now, Rami Jensen, first base for Ridgeline, and Yates delivers strike one.
Yates looks good. The command looks good. Velo looks good.
Second pitch hit over to third, fielded and thrown over to first, and it's there easily in time for out number one.
Logan Levin made that look easy over there on the hot corner. Vacuum cleaners it up. Clothesline throw right on the money, right chest high to Bartholomew. 5-3 put out.
That brings up Easton Dalkey, catcher.
He's built like a catcher too, man. Good sturdy kid. Looks like he's got some pop.
And batting in the 5 spot today. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed.
He's hitting .342 this year. Just 1 home run, 4 doubles.
Swung on and missed it. The second one as well. It's an 0-2 count.
Yeah, now you got to kind of shorten up, join that stride, protect the plate.
Pitch is a little high. It's a good spot, too, for this point in an 0-2 count. Goes something a little outside of the zone. Try to make him stretch for it. Goes swinging at that one in the dirt. And the throw down to first is there. As that pitch was away from the catcher. He takes it in, and they'll give him the strikeout.
Yeah, didn't secure in the mid, so Ridge Erickson, goes down in the dirt, gets it. And I like what he did. He ran up the line. He knew he had plenty of time, so he ran towards the pitcher's mound a good 5 yards or so.
Yeah.
Made sure he had a nice throwing lane. Puts it right over there to first in plenty of time.
Cooper Clark now stepping up. First pitch is inside, catches it for strike one.
Clark is a freshman, I believe. What an up-and-coming star, hitting .403 as a freshman, Caden.
Fouls that one away. Yeah, and as a freshman, as you mentioned, yeah, he's earned his place in this lineup, and rightfully so if you're going to bat that high of a percentage. Yates with the 0-2. Inside, the ball gets away from Ridge, no one on, so no damage done. Now 1-2 count.
I remember now assistant coach Chunner Nyberg coming in the state tournament many moons ago as a freshman and winning the state championship on a state championship Friday. And I'm sure Clark has had plenty of dreams about making big plays.
Fair
like
ball
that.
Down the first base line. It's rolling to the corner. Rounding second, going for third. Can't pick up the ball. Throw down now made, and it's a stand-up triple for Cooper Clark.
That was almost touching the inside of the bag. Clearly a fair ball. And then it was rattling around. You described it well in the corner. And by the time they get it in, the speed of Clark, easy triple there. As easy as they come. And for Clark, that is his 4th triple of the year. And now he's got as many triples as he does home runs. He has 4 home runs coming into this state championship game on a Monday.
And I dare say a triple's almost harder to get than a home run in some cases. Mm-hmm. Triple's a tough play to make.
There was a
hit to second, grounded and thrown over to first for out number 3. So Dixie's able to walk away from this inning without any damage done from that triple from Cooper Clark, as Max Baer will get the last out as he tries to make his way to first.
And it was interesting because the head coach for Ridgeline was actually thinking about sending him, but then the relay finally came in, and you hate to make that final out at home plate, but after the ground out, you almost wonder if maybe you shouldn't have sent him and tried to score the game first run.
Yeah, that hindsight's 20/20, right? Well, with that, still scoreless as we wrap up the top of the second inning into the bottom of the second. We go coming up after this.
Region 10 Sports is brought to you by Nets on Fire, the premier training and event facility in southern Utah. High-level individual and group training catered to your athlete, plus the best camps, clinics, tournaments, and showcases in the West. Visit netsonfire.org.
I'm Aaron Crane, host of the Region 10 Recap. Want to relive the highlights of the game? Look for the Region 10 Recap every week. Just follow St. George News on Facebook or go to stgeorgenews.com.
We are Utah's financial outfitter, and we're here when it's time for your business to climb higher. Cache Valley Bank, mountains await. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Today's action brought to you by our great sponsors, including Intermountain Sports Performance. It's time for that summer training, and those spots are filling up fast, so give them a call today. Intermountain Sports Performance, locations from Logan to St. George. That number, 435-251-2299. First pitch high to Ridge Erickson. Second pitch just about in the same spot. Quick 2-0 count for Ridge.
Special guest joining us in the booth now, Caden. The one and only Cooper Vest has made his way up here to the press box at BYU.
This is popped up, sent into right field. And the out made for out number one. What's up, Coop?
Nothing much. Just happy to be here.
And were you excited when you saw the state tournament was in your backyard here at BYU?
Yeah, anytime you get to watch Boss play, it's super fun for me, so I'm excited.
I was talking to Boston a couple weeks ago, and already got a hit in this game, and he said, you guys talk quite often. You guys share information and talk quite a bit.
Yeah, we text back and forth as much as we can, and FaceTime and phone calls all the time with Mom and Dad, so it's pretty fun.
Now, you play on this field on a regular basis. Tell me, what's it like to be one of these guys that's playing on a full turf field?
I love it. This playing surface is super, super fun to get to play at, and it's super true hops anywhere you go, especially as a hitter. If you get a ball in the gap, you get to run forever, so it's pretty fun that way.
Coop, you know, you had a flair for the dramatics when you were a Dixie Flyer. Your favorite moment you can look back on? Which walk-off do you choose, buddy?
I had a lot to be grateful for, but I think just winning 2 state championships is hard to top. So
Yeah.
those are my favorite.
Quick 3-0 count here to Cooper Bartholomew as he steps back up to the plate.
Offensively, you guys have been on a tear this year. You guys are averaging like 8 runs a game. And you're finally healthy, man. You've had, 2 surgeries now? It's kind of slowed you down a little bit. You feeling good now these days?
Yeah, I feel even more than someone asked me, does your shoulder feel 100%? And I said, it feels better than that. So I'm super grateful for the surgeons and trainers up here that have been able to get me back healthy. So it's been pretty exciting to see.
And Cooper Bartholomew was going to walk to first, bringing up Trace Franco.
Hey, I heard you pitched a bullpen the other day.
I did throw a bullpen the other day in San Diego. Yep.
How'd that feel?
It felt really good.
You haven't pitched in high school, have you?
I haven't pitched since high school, yep. I started as a pitcher up here, and then my second year threw a little bit in the fall before I got hurt, but...
Where do they got you playing right now?
I'm playing left field right now every day, so it's pretty fun to be in the everyday lineup. That's why you play.
Now we have the WCC tournament coming up soon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got some work to do to make it, though.
We do. We need a lot of help. We need a sweep, and then we need Santa Clara to get swept to make the tournament. So
you got a lot of region 10 or Region 9 alumni playing for BYU. You, Luke Anderson, Peyton Gubler, there are a couple of freshmen on the team. And then, of course, Grandpa Deming playing on this team. He's kind of the upper statesman and he's raking this year. What have you seen from Austin?
He's hitting every single thing that those pitchers are throwing remotely close to the plate. So it's pretty special to watch him hit and to have him in front of you in the lineup. I feel like every time I come up to the plate, I got at least 2 guys on the base. So it's pretty fun to get to hit him in all the time.
Is Boston Scott's favorite right now because he's coaching him? He's part of the staff with Coach Gibson.
Yeah, I think so. I think Boston's my favorite even in that pool too. So I think my dad's got a favorite as well as he gets to coach him.
Annette would say it's still you, wouldn't she?
Hopefully she says Boston right now as he's playing. This is pretty fun to get to watch him play.
Yeah. What's he want to do? He wants to play college baseball, doesn't he? You guys talk about that?
Yeah, we talk about it a little bit. I think his goal right now and his focus is obviously getting to play in his high school season, but as this ends, maybe he'll start to focus a little bit more on it. But yeah, he's a gamer. He wants to play this game for as long as he can, and any chance he'll get to do that, I'm sure he'd love it. So
I can't call him Cooper's little brother anymore. He's his own man now.
He's making a name for himself.
Yeah.
I did it a little bit as a freshman, but I think that was the last time I was able to do that.
Yeah, I think even as a freshman, I've always said he's been able to hit breaking balls a lot better than I have, even still to this day. So
2 outs now is the last one grounded over to the pitcher, thrown over to first, and we now have a runner on second, and Cooper Bartholomew, and up now Logan Levitt. So Cooper, biggest competition you guys have right now for BYU?
I would say LMU and Portland have been pretty tough opponents for us to play, just because going into LMU is pretty hard to play, and then Portland's bats came in here and were just firing on all cylinders, kind of like ours were. So those were some pretty high-scoring games, and it was pretty tough to play.
You guys had some dogfights with the Utes this year in non-conference games, huh? That one score was like a football score in game 2 of that series.
Yeah, that 29-15 or 14 game, whatever it was a pretty hard game.
Double-digit home runs in that game?
There was, yeah. And not for us, so I think it was rough to be able to play defense.
You and Lando talk a little smack. You guys used to battle it out when he was at Snow Canyon.
It's all just kind of respect. I think now you get to a certain point where you look back on it, it's like, wow, those are super fun games, but he's done very successful up there, and I'm trying to do the same down here, so it's just kind of a mutual respect. We still compete at it every time we play, but there's a respect there for sure.
Cooper Vest hanging out with us in the broadcast booth. Franco going oppo there.
And the out. That's 3 outs. No score still on the board. Can you hang out with us for another half inning at least?
Of course, I'd love it.
All right, with that, we're going to take a break. And more coming up next here on the Fan Sports Network. Stick around.
Adams Wealth Advisory is a financial planning firm that is combined with an investment firm to provide the best possible outcomes for our clients.
I always believe if you're intentional with your financial plan, things are going to work out really well for you.
Visit AdamsWealthAdvisors.com.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs. Just complete an application on your phone or computer, or stop by any branch.
That's true, but
it's the top of the third inning here at BYU Larry H. Miller Field. Dixie's taking the field, and coming up to bat is Bodie Hansen. Ken Yates still on the mound here for Dixie. Still scoreless, 0-0. We got Cooper Vest in the broadcast booth with us right now, Caden Formaster and Devin Dixon.
How much is Braxton different than his brother, who you played with?
From what Boston tells me, they're pretty similar.
Really?
Hard hit up the middle, it's a single.
Quirky, goofy, funny guys that play the game really hard. So Boston and Braxton have been super close when me and Kayla were playing, and they're doing the same right now, so it's pretty fun to get to watch.
We're going to be shifting over. Kayla's at UVU now, right? You went to Utah originally and transferred to UVU, so we're going to be switching over there Wednesday to Brent Brown Ballpark for the rest of the 4A state tournament. We'll be back here at Miller Park tomorrow. How far is the apartment from here?
It's just kitty corner, so I could have walked here if I wanted to, but Mom picked me up, so it was good. It's good to have them here.
Fouled away by Ian Daly, who is now standing up to the plate. Bottom of the lineup here. Daly Mountain DH here with a runner on first. 0-1 count.
Dolly, a pretty big name BYU pitcher. He's now with the Rays organization, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, Nate is with the Rays right now. And then we got one more coming from CSI. I think it's a cousin. So
yeah, the Dolly's up there in Bear River and Cache Valley, pretty prominent name in athletics.
We got one at Utah Tech as well.
His brother, his little brother pitches for Coach Fate now at Utah Tech. His sister, Kate.
Yeah, who we worked with for the state basketball tournament.
She's coming to pitch for BYU softball team.
An ace of a pitcher for Bear River in softball.
Probably somehow related to Ian.
Pulls back on the bunt, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, I want to get your take on this. I had Coach Ibsen on the show, and you played for Coach Ibsen, and he got choked up a little bit emotional talking about your little brother, and he said, "This is why I coach." And he said he is the hardest working player that I've ever coached. When you hear your former skipper say that about your little brother, what goes through your mind?
I got to watch that or listen to that podcast or kind of clip that when you had him on, and it was pretty special for me just because I think that was one of the days up here where I wasn't really feeling the best, and I think we just got hammered pretty good the night before. But waking up to hear that definitely lights a fire under you. So it's pretty special because Coach Ibsen doesn't show a lot of emotion, especially the kind that was brought out on the show when he got asked that question. So
it almost caught me off guard. You're right. I'd never seen him get emotional like that. But he loves coaching your brother. He loved coaching you too. You know that.
Yeah, we love playing for Coach Ibsen, and Boston loves playing the game no matter who's his coach. But the impact that Coach Ibsen's had on his life and our lives is pretty special. I've always said I've been jealous of Boss because the first time he walked into Dixie High's ballpark, I was a 9th grader. He probably would have been a 5th or 6th grader, and Coach Ibsen actually had a full-on conversation with him before me. So I was like, are you serious? He's already got a favorite, and I haven't even played for him yet. So
got him looking for the strikeout in the first out of the inning. We'll head back to the top of the lineup.
Of course, Coach Pratt is, rumors are he's looking at Case and Bell, who teammates with your brother, and you were teammate, and then Ridge Erickson, I think, is committed, if I'm not mistaken, to Coach Pratt and BYU.
Yep, Ridge is committed to us, and Case was up here on a visit a couple weeks ago, so it was fun to have him up here at the ballpark and to have him around BP. It was really fun.
Is it nice to kind of see some of these guys up? You get to take them under your wing as guys that you know and be able to show them around and be like, hey, look how cool it is to play here.
Oh, wow.
And the play made, wow.
5-4-3 double play.
That's a really good play.
Helping Yates out of the inning there. Dixie's defense shining here at Miller Park.
Yeah, quick double play will wrap it up. And
we got wow out of that play.
I know.
Coop. Great analysis, Coop.
Yeah, good. Oh, wow.
It's a really good play.
Well, they keep the inning scoreless. Again, we're here with Cooper Vest. We're going to take a quick break coming out of this.
You out of here?
Head to the bottom of the third.
I'm going to go sit by family. But
yeah, Cooper, thanks for joining us.
Good to see you, buddy.
Thanks for having me. See ya.
And we'll be back after this.
Inspired design. Ultra quiet operation. To you, it's a Bride Evolution cooling system. To us, it's the ultimate machine.
All set.
For the dealer nearest you, Visit Bryant.com.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
This cheesesteak is so freshly grilled, you could still hear it sizzling.
I can hear it too.
Me too.
Actually, it's the
Cheesesteak?
grill.
Grilled right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's.
Love our resort. Find out why at ZionUtahJellystonePark.com.
Back at it here where Dixie now up to the plate trying to see if they can get on the board. It's still scoreless on the Wilkinson's House of Lighting scoreboard. The swing and a miss there by Case and Bell. And an outside pitch makes it 1-1. Yeah, it's great to have Cooper Vest on with us there for just a little bit. Talk about BYU baseball. His time as a Dixie Flyer. His brother playing for the Flyers tonight. Another outside pitch makes it 2-1. Always good to catch up with those former athletes.
You know, he eats humble pie for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He's just a grounded kid. I mean, you know, asking the question about, hey, what's your favorite moment? And he said, winning state championships with my teammates, you know. And Coop's just that's Cooper. Soft-spoken, but, man, he can play the game. And he's overcome a lot of injuries, 2 surgeries on the shoulder.
Well, hit over to shortstop. And he's there. The ball gets away from first base. So he's there safe. And do they say he gets on it as an error or a hit? I think he would have got there either way.
Yeah, I mean, it one hopped, so I think it's probably E6 on the throw is probably how I would score. They haven't hung an error on the scoreboard here, so maybe they will rule it an infield hit. I'm not sure.
That sends us to the top of the lineup. Braxton Yates. He had a line drive out to right field, his first at-bat. Inside pitch, it's ball 1. Yates, a lefty in the batter's box. Pops this one up. Right field, shallow right field. Backing up on it at shortstop and making the play for out number 1 of the inning.
You know, and both these teams have kind of settled in nicely. No runs for either team, but 2 hits apiece. Kind of what you expected. A little bit of a pitcher's duel. That's kind of been the theme all day long.
Brings up Boston Vest. Again, as we mentioned, younger brother of Cooper Vest, who had just joined us on the broadcast. Runner on first and 1 out. First pitch, it's in there. Strike 1. Look over to first in the throw. Outside. Evens the count at 1. Again, this is Trey Purser on the mound here for Ridgeline. The Riverhawks scoreless, as is Dixie. Throw over to first. He's back there safely. You know, this Dixie program, they've continued to just remain a really solid program. We talked about the 2 state championships that Cooper Vest was a part of. As that one swung on, missed, and runners trying to get over to second, and we'll take the bag safely.
And, you know, got to be aggressive when you can on the base pass. They did rule it a hit by Case and Bell as well. So Flyers trying to manufacture something here. Got the top of the lineup here.
And now runner in scoring position with 1 out.
Yep.
And the pitch, it's sent high towards the right field line. Coming in on it, it's caught. Out number 2.
Yeah, I think Boston thought maybe he fought that off and was going to live to see another pitch, but it kind of hung up and stayed right down the line there. And That's a big out for Ridgeline defensively to get Boston Best to fly out.
That's one of those you want back as batter, too, just because, again, it's in foul territory.
It almost looked like he was trying to check his swing, didn't it? Like he wasn't fully committed
there's a little
to that
hitch.
pitch.
There's a little hitch in the swing, and that will give us out number 2. We move on. Max Orton steps up.
That rare strikeout. He's 0 for 1, but
in the pitch. Caught the edge of the zone, strike 1.
That's a really good pitch by Purser there. Nibbling on that corner. Always nice to get out in front of the count as a pitcher. Ridgeline rocking those action green tops with the white pants tonight.
Pitch about in the same spot. This time call the ball. 1-1 count.
But you kind of saw Dahlke there behind the pitch, kind of giving the mitt approval there. I think he threw that right where Dahlke wanted him and where he was set up, and that's a good sign if you're a Ridgeline fan because your pitcher's kind of dialing it in.
Hit right back to the pitcher. He's going to fill it over to first for out number 3 easily. And that will retire the side as we move on to the top of the 4th when we come back here on the Fan Sports Network and KSLSports.com.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
First Ace Hardware is conveniently located in St. George on the corner of Bluff Street and St. George Boulevard with 30,000 square feet of lawn and garden, paint, tools, fabrics, sporting goods, and the most complete nut and bolt section in town. First General Store, the Big Ace store on Bluff and on Main in Cedar City.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News
Boulevard
today.
Home, because home is who we are.
Still scoreless, 0-0 here as we head to the top of the 4th inning. Today's action brought to you by our great sponsors. One of them, Red Bed Regeneration. Looking for that energy play. Get lit in their red light therapy beds.
Have you ever done that? I'm intrigued.
I never have.
I would actually like to do that, I think.
First pitch is a strike. You can go to redbedregen.com, learn more.
Might be nice before or after a long golf trip, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's a 1-1 count.
Yeah, Hansen leading off the inning for Ridgeline, 0 for 1 in the game so far.
Yep, struck out his first at-bat. Now facing the 1-1. Swung on over to third. Levitt loses it under the glove. It's going to be a single. Boston Best chasing it down.
Yeah, and he got a mid on it, but it just hit so hard. It just kind of popped right through that stab, that diving feet first stab by Logan Levitt. And I'm pretty sure you score that a hit all day long.
They did score it a hit. So with that third hit of the game for Ridgeline, and runner on first here with no outs, puts you in a pretty good spot right now for Ridgeline. No outs, runner on.
Yeah, and they've kind of getting to the meat of the order in the second time.
Yeah, they're facing a good part of the lineup here with Trey Purser up. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Good off-speed pitch there. Looked like he took a little bit off of it on a breaking ball.
Trivia question. How many seats are there here at BYU's Miller Park?
Ooh, that's a great question. Ball's thrown over to first. Do you know the answer? Or are you going to look up the answer?
I'll have to look it up.
If I had to guess, I'm going to say, I'll say 6,000.
6,000?
Dusty producer says 4. So now facing a 1-1 count. Devin's doing the
2,204.
Not as many as I thought. Not by a long shot.
Seems spacious though, doesn't it?
It does seem spacious. And the pitch swung on and missed. It's a 1-2 count.
Impromptu trivia brought to you by Mountain Land Supply. Just a beautiful night. Temperatures have dropped. Still the American flag out there in center field, not even moving.
No, it's just dead out there. No wind whatsoever. As it's cooled down out here as well. Sitting about 66 right now.
Yeah, and you wonder if that'll slow down the home runs. We did have 2 home runs earlier today, and then between the 3 games that have already played. And if you tuned in late and missed them, get you the Nets on Fire score recaps after this pitch.
And it's a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Out number 1.
Another S&S mechanical strikeout for Yates.
Yeah, our Nets on Fire updates from earlier today. Again, a 2-run home run to walk it off for Snow Canyon, where they got the win in game number 2. And then the other home run, Coleman Bob for Green Canyon. And that home run was a big play that put Green Canyon well on top of Crimson Cliffs. That was their win.
That was a 2-1 game, and that made it 4-1. They added one more later, and then there was that, did he catch it, did he not catch it out there, that Crimson maybe could have tied it at 4-4, but they ruled as he somersaulted the ground that it was a catch, even though the ball popped out as he was appearing to kind of knee-high show that he had caught it. We did give him the catch. Of course, Desert Hills lost in the early game 5-1 to Mountain Crest.
And a bunt rolls foul down the first base line. Now, Rami Jensen facing an 0-2 count. Runner on first. Only one out here in the top of the 4th inning. Neither team really feeling like they've had an advantage so far. It's been a pretty tight game. Kind of the theme for today has been close ball games. Some closer than others. That Green Canyon game kind of opened up, but again, one controversial play could have kept it a little closer. This is swing and a miss for strike 3, and that's 2 strikeouts in a row for Yates.
And 5 S&S mechanical strikeouts on the night for Braxton Yates. And you can kind of tell from the first inning, like the command was good, the velo looks good, like he's dialed in tonight.
Yeah, he's definitely in a prime state playoff position right now. Pitching 5 S&S mechanical strikeouts through the first 4 2/3 innings. And again, another strike on a breaking ball.
Maybe you want to see one there, but that was a juicy meatball down the Broadway Street. I don't know how you don't offer it that one. Yeah, you probably won't see a meaty one here.
This one's popped up into shallow right center, right field. Over there to make the catch.
As Seth coming in, calling everybody off, and out number 3. So again, both teams relying on pitching and defense. Scoreless baseball so far in this one between Dixie and Ridgeline.
With that, we head to the bottom of the 4th inning here on the Fan Sports Network and KSLSports.com. Stick around.
Region 10 Sports is brought to you by Nets on Fire, the premier training and event facility in southern Utah. High-level individual and group training catered to your athlete, plus the best camps, clinics, tournaments, and showcases in the West. Visit netsonfire.org.
I'm Aaron Crane, host of the Region 10 Recap. Want to relive the highlights of the game? Look for the Region 10 Recap every week. Just follow St. George News on Facebook or go to stgeorgenews.com.
We are Utah's financial outfitter, and we're here when it's time for your business to climb higher. Cache Valley Bank, mountains await. Member FDIC, equal housing.
Make sure you are properly protected. Call Udine Associates.
Dixie getting ready to head back up to that batter's box and try to get something on the board. Still scoreless here in the bottom of the 4th. Purser on the mound for Ridgeline. right now, you can maybe say slight advantage Ridgeline just because, yeah, they've had 3 hits to the 2 from Dixie. That's about it. I mean, not many advantages in this game given, especially since we're scoreless. Heading to Blake Watson, who will lead off here in the bottom of the 4th. Watson, a right-handed hitter. The first pitch is high for ball 1. This is the nightcap game here for day 1 on a Monday. Tomorrow, 4 more games coming at you. That one's outside for ball 2. Tomorrow again here at BYU. Outside for ball 3. The matchups tomorrow are going to be Bear River and Desert Hills, 12:30 to start us off. Following that will be Crimson Cliffs, and whichever team ends up losing this game, then it'll be Green Canyon and whichever team ends up winning this game. And then the nightcap game tomorrow night will be Snow Canyon and Mountain Crest. Swung on and missed on the 3-1. Full count now for Blake Watson. Watson's last at bat, he grounded out to shortstop. This one sent into the shallow center gap. Fall in for a single. Get himself on base. With that, man on first, bringing up Ridge Erickson. Again, this Dixie team has struggled to get hits. Logan Levitt and Kason Bell, the only 2 players to grab a base hit today.
Yeah, you go back to our Finley Subaru keys to the game. It was like, hey, who can get off to a hot start? And which pitcher can come out and really, command the location, pitch on the edges, not making any mistakes. And both of them have. I mean, Purser's been great. Yates been great. 6 hits in this game, 3 for each team, but no runs and no errors. This game is moving along quickly. Not even 50 minutes into this game. Already in the 4th inning.
Looking to lay down a bunt. They'll advance the runner to second and force it out at first. But that's what they're looking to do. It's a small ball play.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. One of the other keys is which team can, be opportunistic and execute when coach decides to go a little small ball there. And Ridge Erickson showing he can lay down the sack bunt. That'll make Coach Gibson happy and get some high fives for everybody there as he goes back to the dugout.
Brings up Cooper Bartholomew. Walked his last at bat. Purser delivers high and inside.
Of course, last year we were talking about his older brother. Great pitcher. And, Flyer family is kind of a saying that a lot of Flyer teams use, but in baseball, it's really true. You got a lot of...
What was the brother? Malcolm, is that his name, right?
Yep.
Outside pitch, ball 2.
Really had 2 good years on the bump for Coach Gibson. Flyers got all the way to Friday before they bowed out to Snow Canyon, or Thursday last year.
Thursday, yeah. The pitch, slow and away. 3-0 count.
It's interesting that the final 3 teams last year were Snow Canyon, Crimson, and Dixie. And they're the 1, 2, and 3 seeds this year. But yet, Crimson has already lost today.
Yeah. Got in there late strike call. Bartholomew, he's ready to throw the bat towards the dugout and head for first.
Yep, still 3-1. Love to see him go ahead and swing it here.
Here's the pitch. He's in his spot. He took it for strike 2. Full count now for Bartholomew. Again, a runner on second. 1 out here in the inning.
And he hits at 339, so, take a strike, and then he's seen 1, and that was a hittable pitch. Just couldn't find it. Big cut, but came up empty.
Purser looking at the runner on second. Delivers the pitch. It's well hit. That could send her in a run, and it will. He's heading for 2. He'll be there with a double, stand-up double, and an RBI double.
Big-time hit. Big-time clutch hit. Just goes the other way. Doesn't try to overswing it. He took a big cut before. That time he kind of leveled it out, toned it back a little bit, and just drove it right over, second base, a little to the right side of second base. But you could hear by the crack of the bat, that was hit well for Bartholomew, and he picks up a ribby, and the Flyers have the 1-0 lead. Take a look at that on the replay. Nice level cut. Doesn't do too much with it. And watch it. Cooper Vest was talking about once it gets in the alleyway, how it shoots and rolls. And that's why that's a double, even though it was cut off.
First pitch is a ball to Trace Franco. Franco's made a couple plays out there in center field today. Right now he's 0 for 1. His swing and a miss there makes it count a 1-1. Now again, as you mentioned, bottom of the 4th inning, but we're moving through this one pretty quickly. Still haven't even played an hour of baseball yet. This one is hit up the middle. Trying to dive for it, is not there. And a run's going to come around all the way from second. He's going to slide in there safely, and the run will make it all the way over to second. And now it's a 2-run ball game for Dixie.
Yeah, they got to Purser a little bit here in the 4th. Open up a 2-0 lead. Middle of the order coming through in a big spot. And here's a shot of the replay for our audience watching on the live stream. Just another nice level swing.
Cam Blotter diving for that and
just bounced
takes
right
a bit of a
net.
spill. I think he was a little shocked at that. Came up slow.
And aggressive on the base paths there. Sending him around third. Throw wasn't there.
That now brings up Logan Levitt. And all of a sudden the Flyers, 5 hits today now, 2 runs. Find their way on the board here in the 4th inning. And the pitch. Got it in there, strike 1. Looking for a bin blaster's blast of the game. And, sometimes it's just those doubles in a gap. Maybe that's going to be the blast of the game, but I'm sure we'll see some other power hits coming up later in this one. This pitch is inside for, got it in there. A little late on the strike call. Make it an 0-2 count. Purser out of the stretch, pitches that one inside. Or excuse me, pitches it outside for ball 1. So 1-2. Logan Levitt flew out to right field his last at bat.
He had 303 batting average coming into this game tonight.
And the pitch sent down the left field line and out of play into the bullpen. Stays alive with 1-2.
AJ pitched at Dixie a couple years ago. Jagan, who's now an assistant coach, played at Pineview, but is helping out as a coach. So Stacy Levitt, the mom of all 3 boys, was a longtime volleyball coach at Dixie High School. So talking about the family connection earlier, there's another example of it here. Cooper's older brother, he follows in his footsteps. Boston Vest following in Cooper's older footsteps. I mean, it's just kind of cool to see some of these siblings come through and make a name for themselves, though.
Yeah, sometimes it can be hard to fill the shoes of the older sibling that went on to play college ball.
I agree.
But as you mentioned, both Logan Levitt, Boston Vest, making their own names for themselves.
It can help in some ways, too, because if your brother was a star and a great player, then... But the expectations can be higher as well, so it can work both ways.
Pitch outside of the zone. It's a full count now.
And Purser is already up to 70 pitches here in the fourth. So Dixie getting him up there a little bit.
Yeah, some of these longer at-bats, like we said, not a lot of hits, not a lot of movement in this game, but some long at-bats.
Well, on the flip side,
and this one is sent into left. It's going back there. It'll fall in on the warning track. Easily a double. Thought about third, but it'll send in a run.
Yeah, nice job. Beat him deep there. Just playing a little too shallow, and Levitt's got power, doesn't he? I mean,
yeah.
Just beat the left fielder over the top. It was into the alleyway. Looked like he had a good angle. He was cruising, but that bear out there in left field, he just could not get to it. Here's a shot of the replay. Brought to you by Luke Udy at American Family Insurance. And he sees it. He thinks he can get to it. He's just kind of cruising, and it just got over the top of him.
Third RBI double in a row now for this Dixie Flyer team. It's Kason Bell, who's batting in the bottom of the lineup, will be stepping up to the plate. A bit of a meeting going on right now on the mound, just between the players. No coach. Well, coach is out there. He blends in.
Except for he's got, some nice locks going there. Coach Jensen.
Coach has some good locks for sure.
Yeah.
Shoulder length. Purser.
Well, I mean, obviously he didn't go get him. He's just trying to calm him down a little bit and say, hey, we believe in you. Here's your spots. Yeah. You can work out of this. Let's get 2 outs and let's go rattle the bats.
Yeah, and Purser, the junior, stays on the mound, delivers the pitch, and he got in there for strike one. That Wilson on that board out there just lighting it up when it switched to that advertisement in left field. Brought a whole new light to the ball field out here. This one's rocked foul. Count of 0-2 now for Kason Bell. Bell with a single his last at-bat.
You're right about the light, though. It did illuminate the field that much brighter.
Yeah, brightened it up over here a little bit.
Probably can't see that if you're streaming the game. Certainly can't see that if you're listening on radio, but just, again, a beautiful night at the yard here at Miller Park.
Throw down to second, but the defense wasn't quite ready for it. It was there, saved it, but...
And this is kind of a treat for these kids, Caden, because, I've been covering, Southern Utah athletics on the radio for 20 years, and this is the first time we've been to Miller Park.
And it's a beautiful park, for sure.
And they only get it for 2 days because BYU's hosting Pepperdine Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Right.
They'll switch over to UVU, but still, just to be here for a couple days, everybody will play at least 2 games on this field, it's definitely fun.
2A had some matchups here as well.
Yeah, and I'm sure that 5 and 6A will be up here next week.
Swung on and missed.
They're all playing their super regionals right now. I think they just finished up with like the game 2s today, if I'm not mistaken.
That now brings up top of the lineup, Braxton Yates.
Of course, the 5 and 6As, you'll be able to watch all those streams on KSLSports.com. I know Nate and Trevor doing, I believe, the 5As.
.1-0 count now to Braxton Yates.
Still got a lot of the other... Still got some Crimson fans, some Desert Hills players are still here watching some baseball tonight. What else are you going to do on a Monday night after you play an early game? Watch more baseball.
Well, a lot of these guys, they all traveled a long way to be here. It's not like we have 4A schools here in the Utah County area, so a lot of these guys need something to do. Instead of go hanging out in a hotel room, might as well stay around and watch some baseball as Yates fouls this one away.
Of course, Crimson is going to get the loser of this game tomorrow, and Green Canyon will play the winner of this game tomorrow back here at Miller Park.
Here's the pitch. Sent into left field. It'll drop in. Run's going to come around from second. The throw will instead go to shortstop to try to keep that run from advancing over to second. This has been a bit of a recurring cycle where it's just shots into the outfield, and they decided, hey, instead of having a runner in scoring position at second and keeping these guys from just getting up that double, let's keep them on first. As the replay brought to you by SNS Mechanical, drops in left field.
Yeah, nice little dirty bomb just going the other way for Yates and helping him out. And he maybe could have had a fourth consecutive RBI double in a row. I mean, 4 hits, 4 runs already scored here in the 4th inning, but decides to put the brakes on, and it's an RBI single, and Yates will take it.
Here's the pitch outside.
Best 1 for 2 tonight, singled up the middle, and then popped up to right field.
Boston Vest facing a 1-0 here. Outside.
You know, and Purser's at 81 pitches. But do you think about, bringing somebody in out of the pen and keep him below 85?
Well, they do have someone warming up in the pen right now, and the out made for out number 3. So maybe we'll see a pitching change coming up when we go to the top of the, or excuse me, maybe when we get to the bottom of the 5th. But to the top of the 5th we go. The score here now, Dixie with 4 runs on the Wilkinson's House Lighting scoreboard to Ridgeline 0. Ridgeline looking to make up some ground here when we come back on the Fan Sports Network and KSLSports.com.
Adams Wealth Advisory is a financial planning firm that is combined with an investment firm to provide the best possible outcomes for our clients.
I always believe if you're intentional with your financial plan, things are going to work out really well for you.
Visit AdamsWealthAdvisors.com.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs. Just complete an application on your phone or computer, or stop by any branch.
It's top of the 5th inning here from Larry H. Miller Field in Provo, Utah. You're home for the 4A state playoffs through the 1st and 2nd rounds. We're going to be headed to UVU after the first 2 days here. Today, day 1, wrapping things up, our nightcap game between Ridgeline Dixie. Dixie 4 runs on the board. Ridgeline looking to try to overcome that deficit here into the top of the 5th. Cooper Clark will be leading off for the Riverhawks. I want to thank some of our sponsors. Morgan Pest Control. They've been defending your home against insects, rodents for over 60 years. As well as Adam Wealth Advisors. Our stats today brought to you by Adams Wealth Advisors. Of course, markets, they're unpredictable, but reaching your financial goals shouldn't be. You can visit AdamsWealthAdvisors.com. Again, Cooper Clark stepping up to the plate here. Cooper Clark, his last at bat, if we remember, able to hit that triple, but was not able to come back around and score. Instead, there was a hit over to second base to round out the inning. Routine throw over to first. So Cooper Clark right now, 1 for 1, having himself a good day in the batter's box at his first at bat. See what he can do here again. Swing and a miss on the first pitch.
How about trying to decide if what our appliance wholesalers plus playmaker play of the game is, if that 4th inning is all the runs we have in this entire game?
All the RBI doubles.
It was like a carbon copy over and over and over.
It was basically just hit it into the gap and book it to second base and book it home from second base. The pitch outside on the 0-2. It is now 1-2. Cooper Clark again up at bat, righty.
Yeah, and triple already tonight, to his credit. Just a freshman.
Missed for the strikeout.
Yeah, and that was high and away. maybe caught the outside top corner of the K zone, but tough to catch up with that pitch if you're Clark.
Number 5, Max Bear.
Brings up Max Bear.
Yeah, if you're Ridgeline, hey, one at bat at a time. Still a long way to go. Just in the top of the 5th, but
this is well hit, headed down the left field or the right field line. It's out of play. And no play is made out there in right field.
Yeah, Zeph was coming, though. Zeph wanted to get to that. He just could not get to it before it lands in foul territory. The lineup for tomorrow, if you're just tuning in and joining us, heading home from work or watching home for the night, watching the live stream, the loser of this game will play Green Canyon at 5:30 tomorrow. And, of course, or the winner of this game will play Green Canyon at 5:30. The loser of this game will play Crimson at 3 tomorrow. Of course, Desert Hills will play Bear River in the first game of the day tomorrow. That's a 12:30 start, so we'll be on the air just after 12 o'clock, probably around 12:10, 12:15 with our pregame show tomorrow right here on KSL and the Fan Sports Network. And then the nightcap tomorrow night will be Snow Canyon and Mountain Crest. That'll be the 8 o'clock scheduled game.
Should be a good nightcap game. Again, the evening games, part of the winner's side of the bracket.
Well, the interesting thing is we had all crossovers, Region 10 versus Region 11. If this score holds up, every game tomorrow will also be a crossover game. There won't be inter-region matchups going on tomorrow.
Here's the 2-2 fouled away by Max Bear.
Of course, we know 2 teams will be going home tomorrow, too.
Yeah. Yeah, again, this is a double elimination tournament. So the loser of Bear River or Desert Hills will have to call it quits after this one. Again, whoever loses this game, they're going to be facing off against the loser of the Crimson Cliffs and Green Canyon game, which was, of course, Crimson.
Yep.
Loser of that game will have to go home.
Tough to fight through that one-loss side of the bracket, for sure. Every game is an elimination game. The further you go, the deeper you better have as far as the pitching staff is concerned.
Full count now for Max Bear.
I mean, we saw Snow Canyon drop down in the one-loss bracket on a Monday last year, though, and make it all the way to the state championship Saturday.
That's true. And a walk.
So it's possible, but it's not an easy road, that's for sure. Coach Sechrist would tell you himself he doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Hey, Ryder Harrison bailed him out today on the home run.
You could probably hear fire trucks driving by.
I can.
I'm sure it's coming through the microphones. I was wondering what the horn was, but the fire truck coming by on the street just over here to the north of us, in between us and Lavelle Edwards Stadium on the campus BYU. Fouled away for strike number 1 here to Bodie Hansen.
Keep an eye on our Hearst Ace Hardware Player of the Game Award. We'll hand that out in our Johnson Pediatric Dentistry post-game show. We'll also pick up Morgan Defensive Play of the Game, the AWP Playmaker Play of the Game, and we'll also name a Jersey Mike Sub of the Game. We got a lot of awards we'll hand out.
A lot of awards to get to.
It's all the Adams Wealth Advisor statistics. Right now, if you just look at the pitching comparison, Yates at 54 pitches so far through 4 1/3. He's given up 3 hits, no runs, walked 1, struck out 6. Purser, 4 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He struck out 2 and walked 1.
Hit over to third. Levitt over to second, trying for the double play. Did they get it? He says no. It's safe.
Close play.
See if we can find a replay of that play at first. It was right there. It was a bang play.
I mean, everything was smooth. The 6-4, easy out there. 5-4, excuse me. Logan Levitt starting that. Transfer, release, everything good.
Ooh, it was close.
Tie goes to the runner,
tie
baby.
goes to the runner.
And it was almost a dead tie.
That was a tie.
That shot.
Hey, and I like the call. The umpire took some time to think about it, and then he presented the call. It wasn't a knee-jerk reaction.
And credit to Bear for running hard, right?
Absolutely.
Legging that out. And getting another AB here for a teammate. This is Dolly, Ian Dolly. 0 for 1 tonight. Dolly, though, this year hitting .298.
Another inside pitch. 2-0 count with 2 outs on the board. Runner on first. Scores 4-0. Dixie got all 4 runs in the last inning. Good bottom of the 4th for the Flyers. And the pitch. Check swing. They say you went. It's 2-1.
Yeah, every at-bat, though, you're getting it in the later stages of the middle innings here. Every at-bat matters. Love to see, if you're a Riverhawks fan, them string a couple together. They haven't been able to really string anything together tonight. Haven't got a runner past second base.
Yeah. Except for that one triple.
Oh, the triple.
Except for the one triple.
But then quickly a ground out.
Yeah, ground out to round out the inning.
Very next pitch, so you're right.
Here's the 2-2.
Yates has slowed a little bit here.
Yeah, taking his time on this one. Work the count full. Ian Dolly batting at the bottom of the lineup, the DH spot here for the Riverhawks. Cam Blotter right now in the warm-up circle, sitting on deck. In the pitch. Got it in there, looking strike 3. Out number 3. And Ridgeline still scoreless.
Dave Horlocker, the pitching coach, was excited about that. That's the 7th SNS mechanical strikeout of the night for Braxton Yates.
And with that strikeout, it's time to go to the bottom of the 5th inning, where the Flyers looking to extend that 4-0 lead here on the Fan Sports Network and KSLSports.com.
Inspired design. Ultra quiet operation. To you, it's a Bride Evolution cooling system. To us, it's the ultimate machine.
All set.
For the dealer nearest you, visit Bryant.com.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
This cheesesteak is so freshly grilled, you can still hear it sizzling.
I can hear it too.
Me too.
Actually, it's the
cheesesteak
grill.
Grilled right in front of you. It's a Jersey
to the
Mike's
public
steak.
across the freeway from the Bloomington Walmart. And stay tuned for the AWP Playmaker of the Game.
Dixie leads this one 4-0 over Ridgeline Riverhawks here in the bottom of the 5th inning at BYU, Larry H. Miller Field. Caden Formaster, Devin Dixon here on the broadcast with you tonight for the nightcap game. And we'll be back at it tomorrow at 12:30 for the second day of baseball, double elimination tournament. So we got a lot of baseball coming to you this week. The finals, it's going to be a best of 3. Game on Friday, second game on Saturday, depending on the outcome of those 2 games, maybe even a third game on Saturday. So good long week of some baseball here on the Fan Sports Network and KSLSports.com. We appreciate you joining us tonight in this one as we're approaching 10 o'clock. Nothing better to do at 10 o'clock on a Monday than sitting back and watching some baseball.
Absolutely.
Now pitching for
Max Orton.
number 14, Nate Dolly, leading off for Dixie.
Max Orton stepping up to the plate.
Max Orton.
Nate Dolly is now the pitcher for Ridgeline. A lefty. First pitch high, ball 1. Orton yet to get a hit in this one.
But he's been hot. I mean, we've seen him the second half of the season just come on strong, move all the way up to the number 3 hitter in the lineup. Coach Gibson doesn't shuffle the lineup a lot historically. I've watched Dixie baseball over the years, and but when you're swinging as hot a Orton is all the way up to 455 on the season, you kind of got to reward the kid and get him up in the lineup a little bit.
Now facing a 2-1 count for Max Orton. He had a good hitting game his last game against Desert Hills before heading into the playoffs, the last region game. This one comes across for a strike. It's 2-2 count.
Yeah, and he was our Findlay Subaru Player of the Week against the week he had, 7 at-bats and had 5 for 5 with 2 walks against Snow Canyon.
Yeah. Here's the pitch. Outside. It's now a full count for Orton. And bottom of the 5th inning here, 4-0. Dixie on top. High pitch, he'll walk. So leadoff batter finds himself on first base. One thing that our fellow broadcaster, not in the broadcast team for this game, Mark always says, never walk that first batter in the lineup. Got to make him earn that spot to first. And now stepping up to the plate, Blake Watson. Swung on and missed, strike one.
Big cut there from Blake Watson. Looked like he wanted to go deep there. 419 hitter. 1 home run this year, 13 doubles, 1 triple. Hit more for average than power, actually, with those numbers. Blake, though, cut down on the strikeouts this year. OBP's 476.
Dolly with the pitch. Watson pops this up in right field. Oh, and the catch is dropped. Rushing in to try to make the play out there, but couldn't quite get to it. It was Bodie Hansen.
Yeah, it looked like he got to it. Actually, Caden just didn't make the play.
Couldn't make the play. Couldn't wrap it up.
I mean, he got a glove on it and it just popped out.
Yeah. So that'll put Blake Watson back into our Buck brand beef batter's box with a 1-2 count.
Yeah, can he take advantage? Got a little new life.
And the pitch. This one's sent high into center field. And made the play. Only 1 out.
Yeah, got underneath that one. Didn't get all of it. Ridge Erickson will step in.
Number 28, Ridge Erickson.
Ridge Erickson, 0 for 2. Max Orton still standing over there on first. 1 run on, 1 out. Check that runner over at first. And Orton's back safely. 7 hits now for this Flyer team.
Yeah, 4 of them came in that 4-run 4th inning.
Yeah, 4 RBIs.
And they were pretty much back to back to back to back.
Past the outstretched glove and into right field. It'll be a base hit, and it'll advance Orton from first to second.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting by Ridge, just going through the gap over there on the right side of the infield, and
throw another hit on the board and make it 8. Cooper Bartholomew coming up. Now his last at bat, he's the one that kind of got things started with that RBI double after RBI double after RBI double.
Yeah, I think it was the right move by Coach Jensen to, go to Dolly and lift Purser. They were starting to see him well. Dixie was getting ready to go through the 3rd time of the lineup.
Popped high, straight up the elevator shaft. And it lands in fair territory, bounces foul.
Yeah, and you know, plays in foul territory like the one we saw dropped over there, you know, plays like that, you'd love to help your freshman out. He's coming in relief. You'd love to find ways to get those outs, but not able to do so. Dolly has a good ERA, 2.71. He's 1-0. 12 appearances this year. 20 2/3 innings of work, giving up 8 runs. Struck out 28 and walked 6. I mean, this kid is a freshman. He's got a bright future. Already getting meaningful reps at the varsity level.
He's a multi-sport athlete. He's doing big things. Throws this one across for strike 2.
You know, Hammond is another freshman pitcher that's pitched a lot for Ridgeline this year. Clark, a freshman, already has a triple tonight. They got some young dudes on this Riverhawks team, no question about it.
Here's the pitch. This one's sent shallow right. Catch is made. Runners stay. And that is now 2 outs on the board.
Yeah, hit too shallow. Hansen coming in on the plays in front of him. Orton, even though he's got good speed, don't want him to run into the 3rd out of the inning over there at third base.
Sends up Trace Franco. Franco with a double his last at-bat.
Yeah, I like what Bartholomew did. He was kind of just trying to do what he did last a bit, where he roped it over that right side and got that nice RBI. That time, though, just got a little more of it. Lines out.
This one fouled away off his leg. I've seen that a few times today. Fouling off the leg.
Franco's just a junior. Franco this year hitting it at a 308 clip. Again, the team batting average for Dixie coming in tonight, 339.
Pitch is low. Makes it 1-1.
Of course, we're talking about siblings. G.J. Erickson, older brother to Ridge Erickson, who just
graduated last year,
yeah. See a lot of that.
This one, good shot over to shortstop. Try to make the play at second, and he is there.
Had to wait for the second baseman to get there, and Erickson was on his horse. He almost beat that throw there, but they do get out number 3.
And no runs in that inning. Keeps the score 4-0. And Ridgeline will now have a shot to try to come back here as we head to the top of the 6th inning when we return on the Fan Sports Network and KSLSports.com.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
First Ace Hardware is conveniently located in St. George on the corner of Bluff Street and St. George Boulevard with 30,000 square feet of lawn and garden, paint, tools, fabrics, sporting goods, and the most complete nut and bolt section in town. First General Store, the Big Ace store on Bluff and on Main in Cedar City.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News
Use discount
today.
code PARTY for 20% off. houseofjump.com.
Welcome back in here at Brigham Young University. The score is 4-0. This is Dixie on top. Here in the top of the 6th inning. Starting things off will be Ian Dolly
at Prejeet Boulevard Home, our title sponsor of the 4A State Tournament, our streaming sponsor, UCCU Credit Union. Simulcasting games all week long.
Yeah, on the radio in Cache Valley and in Southern Utah.
Yep.
107.7 in Cache Valley, and the Fan Sports Network, 99.5 or 95.3 in St. George, 93.1 in Cedar.
Stats brought to you by Adams Wealth Advisors. Look at some of the key stats. He's tuned in late. Just 3 hits Hansen, Clark, and Hansen, the 3 hits for Ridgeline. Purser went 4 innings, gave up 4 earned runs. Dolly came in and pitched that last inning. Flyers, though, lighting up 8 hits. Half of them coming in that 4-run 4th inning. And interesting enough, no multi-hit game yet. Yates, Vest, Watson, Eriks. I mean, everybody has almost got a hit. The only guy without a hit so far in this game in the starting lineup is Max Orton, and he just drew a walk last inning, got a board.
2-1 count now to Ian Dolly. Looking to lay down a bunt, sends it over. Yates with the throw to first, not there in time.
Wheels, baby, the wheels. He got out of the box and was gone. And Yates made a pretty good play, little silhouette spin move, and put some velocity on it, and still couldn't beat him down there to first. Lauder's fast. Wonder if he'll be going to the track meet, state track meets at BYU this weekend.
You never know.
Stick around.
You never know.
Put that kid in the 4x1 or something.
So runner on, no outs, pitch right down the pipe.
Can't speak enough of the job Yates has done tonight, huh, Caden?
Yeah, Yates has done a really good job here now pitching. This is his 6th inning, only sitting at 66 pitches. Good low pitch count.
Yeah, very.
Balk.
I didn't see it. I was looking at my stat sheet. Can we see that again, Dusty? Dusty Allen, our video producer here. Did he reset? Did he step off and then? What? I missed it. What did you see, Caden?
You know, I'm not sure.
It was before that. A little bit before that. That's okay. Not going to change the call for us.
And I don't know.
One of the only mistakes that Yates has made all night, though.
Yeah. Here's a replay again. I don't know. Again, I don't know. It's
after this? See if we can catch it here. Steps on. We're taking a look here. Foul ball. Right.
I don't know if I saw it.
I don't see.
I don't know if I saw it.
I don't see anything there.
I don't know either. Interesting. Well, it's now facing an 0-2 count. Here is Hayden Hansen. Runner advanced to second again on the balk. Here's the pitch. Fouled away. Foul ball is brought to you by Cache Valley Bank. It's your financial outfitter. Cache Valley Bank, Mountains await.
Yeah, Nets on fire. It was Mountain Crest beating Desert Hills. Snow Canyon on a walk-off home run. They win.
Mountain Crest gets the win as well.
Yep. Green Canyon upsets the 2-seed Crimson. Here, Dixie with the 4-0 lead on the Wilkinson's House of Lighting scoreboard.
Stretching long and out for that one. Foul it away. Still holding strong to that 0-2 count. Yates trying to just put him away. Struck out Hayden Hansen back in the first inning. It was the second out of this ball game.
Seems like a long time ago, doesn't it?
Seems like a very long time ago. Pitch. Looking to throw down that runner at second. Did he get him? Back safe. That was close.
Yeah, that tag came right on top of the hand as he was barely at the bag, deeming the field umpire there with the call. He was right there in great position to make that call.
Check this out. We have the SNS Mechanical replay here. The throw down to second. Oh,
it was close.
It was close. That outstretched hand reaching for the bag got there. Fouled away.
That's the second tough call that umpires had to make. That other one, like tied to the runner play at first, was his call earlier.
Hey, and I do not envy making that call ever. Any of those close plays.
I think he's been pretty good. I think he got both those right, to be honest with you.
He's done a good job. Here's the 0-2. 3 foul balls in a row, keeping it at 0-2. That one low.
It's kind of go time for Ridgeline right now. You know, you got to look at Yates. You're seeing him through this third time now. Ridge wants to call time. Hanson's already got a hit to his credit tonight. He got Blotter down there in scoring position. Nobody out here in this 5th inning. Top half.
Swung on and missed.
Now there's an out. Strikeout number 8. Hang another K on the board for Braxton Yates.
Yeah. Our SNS Mechanical strikeout meter goes up another notch.
Yeah, if you haven't got the AC tune-up yet, summer heat's coming. Can handle all your heating, cooling, and plumbing needs. I'd have them out for a water heater not too long ago.
Trey Purser steps up to the plate. Yates with the pitch. Fouled away. This Dixie team holding on to that 4-0 lead so far. Ridgeline's made a decent push in this inning. Especially with a shot like that. That's going to be a 2-run double, or a 1-run double, I should say.
Yeah, beautiful piece of hitting there as Purser, didn't get it going his way on the mound today, but helping his team out at the plate, pulling that one right over Levitt's head. Levitt, he would have been 10 feet tall to have a chance to make that play. It's a good piece of hitting, seeing it well, pulling it. RBI double for Purser, and Ridgeline got that goose egg off the scoreboard. And now see if they can do what Dixie did back in that 4-run 4th inning. String a couple together here.
Yeah.
Maybe cut this lead of Dixie's in half. Still just 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning.
Looking for one of those stop rallies right about now. Swung on and missed. So you're in the middle of that SNS Mechanical replay. You can just send it right down the left field line. Stand-up double for Purser.
Yeah, Romy had a big cut on that first swing.
Yates with the look to second. And the pitch. Hit right to shortstop Vest. He'll get the force out at third. And they're going to say he got him.
It's his tag. He had to tag him. It was not a force. He had to get the tag down. Looked like maybe Levitt missed the tag. Then as he was diving back to the bag, he got the second tag. We'll have to see it again, but it looked like the official kind of waited and waited and waited. And then when the second tag came, when he was down on the ground, Purser kind of overran that, trying to juke out of the way, so to speak.
Vest with the throw to third there on the replay.
Does he get the tag? I don't think he
might have got it right there. He does come off the bag, though. His fingertips lift off the bag.
I think if he...
That's a tough break.
Oh, and that would have been an RBI hit.
It would have.
Because he ropes it right up the middle.
And maybe that's a smart move by Boston Vest to get rid of that runner that was in scoring position.
Well, in Purser's defense, that ball was hit right at him. You can't have the ball hit you, so
yeah.
He's either got to go back to second initially, but your instincts are go to third, right?
Right.
And so he takes off, and Vest able to get that throw down there, and Levitt gets the tag. That's a big play, because had they not gotten that lead runner there, would have scored another run.
Now Cooper Clark.
What can the freshman do next?
And swing and miss. Strike one there. 2 outs now. Is Dixie going to try to lessen that damage? Only 1 run has come across, but the tying run is at the plate right now. Here's Yates. Fouled away. Puts him at 0-2.
Pretty impressive, though, that, Clark hitting .403. Tied for the second best batting average on this Riverhawks team with Bear. He hits .403. Purser, who we just saw rope that double, hitting .431 to lead this team that does swing at .320 collectively coming into this game tonight. Ridgeline, newer school up there in Cache Valley. They had instant success. Basketball team won a state championship with the Brinchley boys.
Yeah. It's a school that's had a lot of athletic success all across the board, not just in one sport, right? They've been having success all across in every sport. Sent high into center field, and the catch is made for out number 3 of the inning. And Dixie will hold off Ridgeline to just 1 run there in the top of the 6th. To the bottom of the 6th we go, where Dixie will try to get a few more runs on the board. Ridgeline, see if they can hold them off and make this something closer. Coming up here on the Fan Sports Network.
Region 10 Sports is brought to you by Nets on Fire, the premier training and event facility in Southern Utah. High-level individual and group training catered to your athlete, plus the best camps, clinics, tournaments, and showcases in the West. Visit netsonfire.org.
I'm Aaron Crane, host of the Region 10 Recap. Want to relive the highlights of the game? Look for the Region 10 Recap every week. Just follow St. George News on Facebook or go to stgeorgenews.com.
We are Utah's financial outfitter, and we're here when it's time for your business to climb higher. Cache Valley Bank, mountains await. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Back at it here as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The score 4-1 now. Ridgeline got on the board there in the top of the 6th. It's going to be Logan Levitt.
I was trying to get a little bit more of an explanation of that timeout on the balk, and the explanation I got is he might have made a turning motion.
See, and that's what I was just saying. He did turn his head. Normally keeps his head in his eye line right on home plate, and he did kind of cock the head a little bit.
And I'll admit, I was kind of watching the feet more so on the replay than up top. So,
yeah, I think he just turned a little more than he normally does.
Good official. John's a good official behind a good crew. I mean, it works in state championship games. It's a good crew, so I'm sure they didn't just make the call up.
You're right, right.
Is the point.
Quick 2-0 count here to Logan Levitt. Doubled his last at-bat. Came back all the way around to score. That one in there for a strike. 2-1 count now.
Yeah, I mean, clearly Dixie wants to continue to try to get to the bullpen here, get to Dolly a little bit, grab some insurance runs. Ridgeline's thinking, okay, we got one back. Now if we can just get quick 3 outs, go back, rattle those bats. I mean, you'd love to see Ridgeline, if they can get it to the 7th and get it back to a 1-run deficit, feel like they got a chance to maybe come back and win this game.
And it's a walk for the leadoff batter for Logan Levitt, heading now to Kason Bell.
And Bell, I was at his signing day, signed at Glendale Community College. And since he started, hitting the gun, topping out at 91, 92 a couple of weeks ago, all of a sudden a lot of Division I interest has picked back up. Went on a visit, I think, to BYU, maybe even Utah. I know Oregon State. There were some other schools that were. I think he went on an official visit to Oregon State already at some point last couple weeks. So, when you sign at a 2-year school, you can still change your mind and go Division I, even though you were signed. A lot of Division I's might say, "Hey, go here, play a year, and then we'll bring you up." But if you start pitching pretty good and other teams start paying attention, that plan might be thrown out the window, and somebody better give this kid a scholarship.
Somebody else will give him a scholarship, yeah.
Correct.
Bell now facing the 1-1. Runner on first, no outs. Here's the pitch. He takes this one for a right out into left. Is it going to drop? It does. Diving for it, but not quite there to make the play. The throw down to third. Sliding in safe to third is Logan Levitt.
Big time hit by Kason Bell, who's now 2 for 3 tonight. Known for his pitching, but Bell's able to swing it as well here. He's hitting .444 this year. It's not like he doesn't know how to handle the bat, and that was a heck of an effort by Bear out there. I mean, it was right there at the mid as he Superman lays out for it. Head first infield slide coming in on the
Inspired design. Ultra quiet operation. To you, it's a Bride Evolution cooling system. To us, it's the ultimate machine.
All set.
For the dealer nearest you, visit Bryant.com.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
This cheesesteak is so freshly grilled, you can still hear it sizzling.
I can hear it too.
Me too.
Actually, it's the
Cheesesteak?
grill.
Grilled right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
Welcome back in. Continuing on with the bottom of the 6th inning right now. We've had quite an eventful bottom of the 6th already, with runs now on 2nd and 3rd. No outs. But a pitching change going on right now.
Swan is the new pitcher, so Swan into pitch. Get you the numbers on the new Riverhawk coming into the game.
Yeah, and again, this pitching change brought to you by Nets on Fire.
Swan's numbers this year, I don't have. It doesn't look like he's got any. Well, he's pitched
a few innings.
3 innings pitched, giving up 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, but only 3 innings of work. He's a sophomore.
So he's out there warming up, and he had to come trade out his glove. I don't know if that was the umpire that asked him to trade it out, or if he had some sort of a mechanical function with the glove he had on before. He goes, trades out the glove, and steps back up to the rubber to continue his warm-ups out there on the mound. Want to thank some of our sponsors for tonight. Donut Run. We've had 2 Donut Run home runs today. Nothing in this game, but 2 of them total today. Donut Run, they're off Brigham Road by KB Express. You can start your mornings at Donut Run.
Love their kolaches, that biscuits and gravy kolache.
I haven't had the biscuits and gravy.
So good. And then the ham and jalapeno.
Those are my favorites.
Good.
Yeah, the smaller ones. Yeah, they have a $5 lunch special as well, which is 2 lunch kolaches and a drink for $5.
Pretty good deal.
Yeah, not bad. Not too far away from Desert Hills High School, so kind of a high school student lunch special, but sometimes we'll take advantage of it as well. Might as well. They didn't say it's just for the kids.
Yeah, as long as you don't have to show student ID, you're okay. Yours is expired, buddy.
I know. That's very true.
Dusty can make us some. Oh, pass ball, wild pitch.
It sends in the run home. Safe.
Yep. Levitt scores. And that relay back to the catcher, to the pitcher, was close, but then the ball came out of the mid.
Here's the SNS mechanical replay.
And that's a wild pitch.
It is a wild pitch. Went under the feet of Yates. Coming in from third, and just not able to.
And I don't think the tag was in time anyway. Now that I've seen a shot of the replay.
So that puts a runner on third.
Swan's got an interesting sidewinder release, doesn't he?
Yep.
Drops it down. Right-handed pitcher, just a sophomore.
Here's the 2-0. Decent pitch. He's finding his spot. It's a little closer there now. 3-0. Runner on third in the pitch. That'll walk him.
Yates had to do a little quick two-step to get out of the way of that one going off the ankle bone.
Yeah. Again, this is the fresh reliever, the sophomore. Hasn't pitched a ton. But this is a situation where, high-pressure situation, you want to get these guys some reps in these situations, so then when they do reach their junior year, they're not as antsy about it. They're feeling comfortable.
No, your number 2, you're probably trying to save Hansen, the junior, for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so you've used Ollie, and now you started with Purser, and now you're on to Swan. And maybe pitching in his first state tournament game, you're at Miller Park. So for Dolly and Swan, as freshman and sophomore, you're coming in, you're trailing. Tough spot. There's no question about it.
For sure. Especially with no outs on the board, and you've already allowed one run across.
Well, Coach Gibson is a very experienced skipper. He's telling the guys, hey, let's take one here. Let's be patient.
Another inside pitch, 2-0 count.
When somebody comes in and first pitch is wild, you definitely want to see one.
Here's the 2-0. Well hit. Going back on it and left. Makes the grab. The tag up from third and first. There's a play at second. He got around it. No tag made. But that will score a run for Dixie.
Yeah, the first pitch that Swan throws, it's really a juicy strike. You know, Best tries to lift out of the yard and hung up in there. You know, it's I don't know, 380 to that alleyway in left center. And he got that one just shy of the warning track. It just didn't quite get all of it here at Miller Park. But, hey, it's a sac fly. Yeah. An RBI for Boston Vest. So Boss will take it. And a 6-1 lead now on the Wilkinson scoreboard for the Flyers.
Brings up Max Orton, who walked his last at-bat. First pitch, strike. That's what you want to see from this young pitcher, too. A little more, you let a few batters go by. Throw that first pitch strike, like some confidence starts to build.
And the problem is he doesn't have his own mitt. He had to go get a different mitt for some reason.
And that can even throw you off mentally a little bit, right? You're not using your mitt. Wild pitch there for the 1-1.
Yeah, and Orton would love to join every single teammate with a hit tonight. 8 of the 9 have got hits. Orton, who's leading the team in batting average, does not, which is crazy. Mm-hmm. But a lot of production up and down the lineup for Coach Ibsen tonight, which he loves.
I got to give credit to Easton Dahlke, catcher tonight for Ridgeline. He's done really quite well for the most part back there behind the plate.
Yeah, that wild pitch, that was way
He's able to keep it from going behind him.
Another good
stand in front of that one, throw down to third. Did he get him? Took his time on it. They say safe.
I think the ball popped out there, didn't it, at the end?
Maybe. Let's see if we have a replay of that one.
Because Dahlke blocks it, gets it, puts it right on top of the bag. Look at that block. I mean, doesn't go far, though. And that's a
play. Oh, he does drop it.
Came out.
Yeah, the ball came out. Yeah.
I think if the tag stays in the mid there, then I think the tag was in time, but that's Purser now over a third, if I'm not mistaken.
Swung on and missed. It's now a full count for Max Orton.
And a full count if you love it. Got to offer at it if you're Max Orton. And
there's some connection there. It's going into center. Drop ball in center, and he's going to take off for 2. The run will score, and he slides into second. Stays on the bag. Safe call.
Every single Flyer has now gotten a hit in this game tonight after Max Orton. He heard me up here. He's like, I want to join the hit parade. 10th hit of the night. And the Flyer with 2 hits tonight. Probable starter on the bump tomorrow, Case and Bell.
That makes our score here 7 runs for Dixie, 1 for Ridgeline in the bottom of the 6th inning. Dixie looking like they're in playoff form right now as well with this 7-1 ball game. Blake Watson now up to the plate. Still only 1 out. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. 3 runs come around to score this inning.
Well, most people knew that, the top 3 seeds were from Region 10, and they were all capable of winning the state championship. Hey, Green Canyon, a really good team as a 7 seed, just beat the 2 seed earlier today. So you got to like what they've got ahead of them, staying on that winner side of the bracket. Snow Canyon, the overall 1 seed. They win today, but had to do it in dramatic walk-off fashion.
And now Swan here with the 0-2 count.
And Mountain Crest played well. They really pitched it well. 4-run win over Desert Hills.
Cache Valley Bank foul ball to stay alive for Blake Watson.
It's just day 1. I mean, you can be impressive. You can be disheartened. You can win or lose day 1 and still get it going. I mean, case in point, Snow Canyon getting back to the state championship Saturday last year after losing on a Monday in the 4A state tournament when it was held down in St. George last year. But you do start to get out of pitching towards the end of the week. Definitely, if you can get to, the first 2 wins up here, your pitching kind of stays in line.
Caught him looking on the 1-2. That's out number 2. Blake Watson has to head back out to the dugout.
Yeah, and Watson kind of just froze and took a really slow stroll. I think he would have loved to have a mulligan there.
Brings up Ridge Erickson.
No mulligans in real golf. No mulligans in baseball.
Definitely no mulligans in baseball, yeah. If you're playing with me, I'm taking a few mulligans in golf, but not in baseball.
Yeah, it's called practice, right?
That's right.
Unless you're playing a tournament. Or scramble where you pay for them.
Yeah.
Fundraiser tournament. Speaking of which, the Fan Sports Network will be hosting the 19th annual Utah State Long Drive, June 9th and 10th. There'll be a 4-man scramble at a Coral Canyon Golf Course. We're going to get the details up on the website later this week. And you can call or text 435-467-7571 if you want to get a team in the scramble.
You going to be playing?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I usually do. I'll be helping run it with Marco Leone, the pro out of Coral Canyon. Been doing this Utah State Long Drive, 10 different divisions to tee it up and grip it and rip it.
2-1 count now as that one comes across for a strike.
Love to have you and Mark come out and do the show out there one day and be a part of it.
Hey, that'd be fun. I'm down.
It'll be right in the qualifying window. Like on a Friday, we start qualifying at 3 o'clock, goes till about 9 o'clock. So you guys' show will be right there in that 4 to 6 window. You can come out and watch some guys.
Is that a Friday?
Yeah, we're going to have the track man out there. We'll be getting launch angles and tracking ball speed and club head speed and all that. It'll be fun.
Yeah, sounds like a good time to me.
And then the tournament will be Saturday morning. And then the Long Drive Finals will be Saturday, June 10th, that night.
Here's the pitch. And it's a walk outside for ball 4. Puts runners on first and second for the Flyers.
I was going to say, I know where the fire trucks went. I'm catching a whiff of smoke here in the studio.
I'm smelling a little smoke as well. Cooper Bartholomew now stepping up to the plate.
I don't think that's coming from somebody camping up in Provo Canyon.
I don't think so.
Too far away. It's making my allergies stir up, though.
Yeah. Got to take a couple sneezes here or there, huh? Swing and a miss from Bartholomew.
Yeah, and Swan looks like the adrenaline. He's kind of settled in a little bit here. Just needs to get this last out. He gave up that RBI hit, but a little wild on that wall pitch. But now he's starting to command his pitches a little bit.
Yeah, a little better.
More frequently.
He liked this from a sophomore pitcher. He's got you now to a 1-1. He's been able to throw one strikeout here. Caught him looking. Taking some to a full count.
Yeah, it's all hands on deck in state tournament as far as the pitching staff is concerned. And, you know, you can throw, at this point in time, he's darn near a junior, right? You're at the end of the sophomore season.
Yeah.
You know, maybe just got his driver's license. Valuable experience you're getting here in this setting, even though your team's down by 6 runs. You still want to play well, you know, and hit your spots.
Outside for ball 3.
Yeah, tried to snap that one off on the bender and snapped it off a little too far. Had some good late movement on it.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys joining us right now as we're past the 10:30 mark. Late night here at Miller Ballpark. Swing and miss. Puts it at a full count. And it's going to be, we're going to have some late nights over the next couple of days. It'll start to tighten up once teams are eliminated.
Yeah, we've been on the air for about 10 hours plus consecutively here. 4 games in a row. Been a fun day one, though.
It's been a fun day one.
For the winners, especially, and their fans.
Yeah. Runners go on the 3-2 over the outstretched hand. It'll bring a run around from second all the way around to score. And puts runners on first and third, so it's an RBI single for Bartholomew.
I'm watching Ridge Erickson. He overran third, had to dive back to the bag. There wasn't a throw there, but, you know, get those white pants dirty. But good piece of hitting by Bartholomew. I mean, just right over, you know, Blotter's head. Sharply hit RBI single there.
22, Franco.
Franco will step in. I mean, Bartholomew's got 2 RBIs tonight. The only flyer with multiple RBIs in this game.
Trace Franco now stepping up.
This is the balanced attack, though, that should scare everybody a little bit about the Dixie Flyers, because everybody is getting in on the action tonight, not just been one guy.
Yeah, as you mentioned earlier, everybody's had a hit in this game. Most guys have come around to score. Only 2 have yet to score. And that's Boston Vest and Ridge Erickson. Ridge standing on third right now. Now facing a 2-0 count is Trace Franco.
And Ridgeline's you got to be thinking, you know, we got to get out of here. I mean, Franco goes yard here. This game's over. 10 run him.
Thinks about the throw down to first.
And Ridgeline, Swan's got, you know, he's like, I got 2 outs. But they call balk.
Balk.
And so there's another run on the board. Make it 9-1. Flyers cruising. I mean, this game was tight for 3 innings. It was, you know, Purser coming out, commanding his pitches. Yates looked really solid out of the gate. It was no score till the bottom of the 4th inning when Dixie got 4 runs on 4 hits. 3 of them were extra base hits. To kind of break this open, and now they've added 5 more here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
3-0 count now to Trace Franco.
I mean, you kind of come into this inning for Ridgeline going, okay, it's only 4-1.
Yeah.
Let's go get a quick 3 outs, and then, you get in the bullpen. Dixie's still continuing the hit parade, and all of a sudden now this game looks out of reach.
And they call strike 1 on the 3-0, so now make it a 3-1 count. 2 outs, runner on second. On the Wilkinson's House of Lighting scoreboard, it's 9-1. There are some Ridgeline players out there warming up in the bullpen. Got him for strike 2, full count.
Good pitch there by Swan to get it to break back on the inside corner. You know, Franco had to feel like that's coming at me. I'm going to lay back, and then it just bends in there.
Yeah, good command. Here's the pitch. Fouled it away.
You can see the talent that Swan has and the angle of the release point, that little bit of a sidewinder delivery.
Well, he's thrown, with that one being fouled away, really 3 strikes in a row, right? He started with 3 balls in a row and has now worked it to a full count.
Well, and honestly, Dolly was on the hook for some of these runs here in the inning.
And just over the outstretched hand at second base. Run's going to come around and score from second. And Franco with an RBI double.
Yeah, and just a little dirty bomb bloop. I mean, just kind of going the other way with it, not trying to overswing. And, I mean, second baseman there is going back. It looks like he's going to make a play, and then Hansen elevates, and it was inches over his tip of his mitt. And now the infield will draw in here. Little timeout meeting on the mound, and here comes the pitching coach for the Riverhawks. I don't think that's the head coach. That's not Coach.
They're going to send in the bullpen. Now, some of these guys, just because they're pitching today, if their pitch counts don't get unreasonably high, they can still come back into games earlier than some others when they're getting higher in the pitch count. So,
yeah, you're under 35 pitches, but Swan went 36, so he's going to have to.
He just hits that mark, yeah. Well, another pitching change here. Brought to you by Nets on Fire. We'll step away for a minute, let this pitcher get warmed up, and we'll be back with the action here in the bottom of the 6th inning here on the Fan Sports Network and KSLSports.com.
Region 10 Sports is brought to you by Nets on Fire, the premier training and event facility in Southern Utah. High-level individual and group training catered to your athlete, plus the best camps, clinics, tournaments, and showcases in the West. Visit netsonfire.org.
I'm Aaron Crane, host of the Region 10 Recap. Want to relive the highlights of the game? Look for the Region 10 Recap every week. Just follow St. George News on Facebook or go to stgeorgenews.com.
We are Utah's financial outfitter, and we're here when it's time for your business to climb higher. Cache Valley Bank, mountains await. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Springville, and St. George.
Pitching change out there for Ridgeline. Do we have the new pitcher updated for us yet?
Yeah, Christensen is in the pitch.
Christensen.
You see the numbers on him.
This is Jackson Christensen, a freshman, by the way.
Yeah, it's a young team. Coming in as a 6 seed. You got Bears, who's a senior, and Dalkey, your catcher's a senior. But those are the only 2 seniors really on this roster. So you got a young team starting some freshmen.
Yeah.
Christensen's numbers. The freshman, 2 2/3 work, giving up just 1 hit, walked 1, struck out 1. He only faced 9 batters all year. So really not much to talk about. Don't know a ton about Christensen. And Jackson now trying to just get out of here without any further damage as Dixie leads at 10-1 on the Wilkinson scoreboard.
Logan Levitt stepping back up. He walked his last at-bat, which was earlier this inning.
Yeah, 1 for 2, with 2 runs scored and an RBI. A very good night at third as well for L&L.
Yeah. Now facing the 1-0.
If he goes yard, Caden, you should call him the Levitator.
All right.
Logan the Levitator Levitt.
I like it.
Got a little
I like it.
Christensen's got other ideas, though. He's coming in fresh, state tournament.
Throwing not bad. I mean, yeah, that one was a ball, but it was right there, right near the zone.
Yeah, but again, you can tell that Dixie's very patient since they got to the bullpen.
Here's the 2-1. Hit into right field, and the out is made. So we will have a top of the 7th inning. Score 10-1. Dixie on top. We'll take a quick break, step aside. When we come back, top of the 7th, here on the Fan Sports Network with KSLSports.com.
Adams Wealth Advisory is a financial planning firm that is combined with an investment firm to provide the best possible outcomes for our clients.
I always believe if you're intentional with your financial plan, things are going to work out really well for you.
Visit AdamsWealthAdvisors.com.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs. Just complete an application on your phone or computer, or stop by any branch.
Equal Opportunity Lender.
Pitching change for the Flyers as we head to the top of the 7th inning, which 3 outs would end this ball game with a Dixie win. Pitching change, Trey Whitney up on the mound. Getting his warm-ups in before we get started here at the top of the 7th. Batting order, we'll start with Cooper Clark. We've moved down. Excuse me, Max Bear.
Yep, Bear will lead off. So you got 6, 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up here.
Yep,
the top half
lineup.
The numbers on Mr. Yates tonight pretty impressive. I mean, you've been kind of the 2 behind Case and Bell all year, but you get the start today. You give up just 1 run, 6 hits, and also go 1 for 3 with an RBI and a walk at the plate. 8 strikeouts for Yates tonight. And he stayed under that 86 pitch threshold, so he can come back, or 85 pitch threshold on 2 days
rest. He's got a 2-day rest, yeah. That's not too bad, huh?
Yep.
So here's Whitney to pitch. Hit right back to him. Stops it with his body, but it's going to roll away and be a base hit.
Yeah, the numbers on Trey Whitney, 1.17 ERA. He's 2-0 and made 5 appearances and 1 complete game this year, 1 shutout, and it was a no-hitter.
Not too bad.
Whitney's been mainly a reliever, though. 12 innings pitched on the season, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. He's walked 4, he struck out 17.
The stats brought to you by Adams Wealth Advisors.
And again, the all levels, the pitching adopted a few years ago. If you throw 86 to 110, you have to have 3 days rest. If you throw 61 to 85, 2 days rest, and Yates stayed under 85. If you throw between 36 and 60, you got to have 1 day rest. And if you throw 1 to 35 pitches, you can come back with no rest at all.
That last one fouled away. Cache Valley Bank foul ball. Makes the count 0-2 with a runner on first.
And thanks to some of our great sponsors, Mountain Lens Supply, Intermountain Sports Performance.
Wild pitch will advance that runner over to second. Dixie on top 10-1 here in the top of the 7th inning.
Jason Baum, Equity Home Loans. Got some great sponsors sponsoring state championship 4A baseball.
Swing and miss for strike 3. That's an S&S Mechanical strikeout.
Yes, indeed. 2 outs away from the victory here. And
designated hitter, number 8, Ian Dolly.
Brings up Ian Dolly. Pitch. A little high for ball 1.
Dave Horlocker does a really good job with his Dixie pitching staff. Always have arms. We'll see Bell. We'll see probably more Yates in the state tournament. We're going to see more Whitney, Andreas.
A little bit of everything.
Bartholomew can throw.
Yeah.
Vest has thrown a couple innings. Levitt can pitch. Logan Levitt.
Another foul ball. And that'll make it a 1-2.
I mean, Dixie's team ERA, Kane, 2.24 this year.
Wow.
And that's why, you know, people asking, hey, can the Flyers win a state championship? Yeah, if the pitching is there, why not? And tonight the bats have backed up the pitching.
Yeah, as you mentioned before, everyone in the lineup been able to get a hit tonight.
You know, you compare that to, you know, Ridgeline's ERA, and it's a new second season, as they say, as there's a bloop single. This could score a run.
Base hit.
No.
And the run will stop at third.
But their team ERA is 3.95.
Which isn't bad.
Nearly 4 runs a game. No. Decent high school ERA.
So 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Runners on first and third. Brings up the top of the lineup, Cam Blotter.
You know, Ridgeline came in 17-10, 10-5 in region. They ended up finishing second in Region 11. Had the lead most of the year.
First pitch to Blotter comes in low. Whitney with the pitch. Over to second, trying to get that double play, and they do. That's the ball game.
Yeah, Orton started it, slings it over to Vest. Vest on to first. Orton and Vest, a little celebration there. Flyers win on a Monday, head to Tuesday, where they will face Green Canyon tomorrow in the second round here from Miller Park.